baby. This is his very first time in single. It's been doing pair work. The only reason we've had it on pair work is it was, you know, it would have done single, but weren't fit enough really. So what we've done is we've done plenty of road work in a pair, and now we're in single, and this is his very first time. We're literally 100 yards from home, you know, and he's going sweet. He's a good baby. Come on, go on, come on, my darling. And the trouble we've had with him, which was another good reason, wasn't the main reason we put him in, he couldn't concentrate. He's only a baby, so he couldn't concentrate on what you asked him to do. So what we've, you know, he's just a baby in his head, but he was on the turn. He was, you know, coming a bit sensible, and as we've gone on, he's got more and more. But what he'd do now, you know, had we have started him in single, what he'd have done is just stopped and had a look round, you know. Well, that's all right, but obviously they've got to be to a standard before you can start their road work in earnest, you know. They've got to be to a standard. So we've got a real small, tiny vehicle on here. It's a Shetland one, actually. Well, it'd go up to this pony's height, but it was, you know, I had it made, purposely made by Heartlands carriages, to my own design, what I wanted, you know, because it's like free abreast, and there's front and rear brakes, there's storage lockers on it, etc. You know, quite a few other things that are a little bit different to what, come on baby, what would be standard. So this is his first time with the shafts up the side of him. So we've put these shafts. Now people say to me, why ever do you have the shafts that long? Well, I want to see how he's moving, so I can get a real good view from here, can't I, of his feet. Is he brushing behind? As he's stopping, when I asked him to, you know, to take this down the hill, you know, am I putting his is it putting his feet together? How does he use his limbs? So he's got some couple turned out there at the moment, ready to come in, start their training. So he's just listened to them. But a lovely pony, kind pony, good pony, and a nice quality pony, you know, of a fell pony. So you can see him just holding this now, and it's the first time he's ever held this amount of weight back. Come over, my darling. And also, if you look, I've got different shafts on as well. So as I turn it round this side here, if you have a look, can you see that going into the horse's neck, yeah? Yeah? Well, that's what happens with some of these modern vehicles that are not loop-end, and even if they are loop-end, some of the loops are so elongated, so long, that the same thing happens. Now you say to me, well, why do you do that? Well, if he's put in a vehicle when he goes home, or the vehicle swapped for whatever reason, at least he's felt that in his neck. If he didn't feel it in his neck, he could be startled, jump, wondering what's happened. So our job here is to try and cover all eventualities. Obviously you see all the stuff we do, but that's another thing we do. The ends are wrapped with a piece of sponge and tape so they don't actually, but he's actually felt it. Stand still, baby. Stand still. Now the reason I've stopped there is not to let the motor car come stand, but to let him know he's not to follow it. And it's best he learns that lessons now. Also, he wants to eat the hedgerow here. He wants to pick up something, I won't let him do it. But I won't scold him, I won't whack him or do any nonsense like that. I'll just sit here with the reins, just enough slack in them so he's comfortable, there's no weight on his mouth, only when he turns his head towards that greenery to have a bite, yeah? I will just wait for this one to come up this way. There. And when he stands quiet and he keeps his head still, he's just saying, give me these reins and I'll just have a nibble of this while you're talking. But that's no good, you know. See, what you've got to do with these little these little children, you've got to do it, they've got to have discipline. Of course they have, as all children should, you know, all youngsters should have discipline, you know. On the other end, you can't lock them down in a box where they can't move and they've got no way of expressing themselves, because that wouldn't be any good either, would it? But as far as this goes, he's got to learn when you're in harness, you will do what I want you to do, yeah? What I've asked you to do, please do, yeah? So this is a nice one coming by. So obviously our pairs training, he's been on the offside and near side. Our pairs training's, you know, because he never took any notice of that, and it was reasonably noisy, but he never took any notice at all, and basically that's what we're looking for. And he's not argued or pawed the ground as he would have done a couple of weeks ago. He'd have been pawing the ground now with frustration, yeah? Stand still. I'll change the tone of my voice and tell him I'm not happy. Stand still. His next move will be to paw the ground, yeah? Stand still. So I'm not pulling his mouth. He's the only one that's pulling against the reins. If he stands quiet, the reins are nice and slack. So I just keep my hand like that, keep him in one position and just let him. Okay, walk. Walk. Come on, boy, walk. Walk. People say, I've had this all the time, why do you tap him with the reins? God, if I have to say it again, I know perfectly well how to drive with etiquette, hold the whip, drive one-handed, all that, can do all that. This is training. People will, whoever they are, no matter how good they are or how good they think they are, they'll always do that. That will happen. Reins over his quarters. It will happen, sure as anything, yeah, it will. So we do that, and we tap him like that if I want him to go up, then it doesn't bother when you see what I mean. He's heard it all somewhere, so he's got to have a talk to it, but all in all, we haven't done 100 yards yet from home, I shouldn't think. Anyway, come on in, babe, trot, babe, trot, good boy, yes you are. Go on, my baby boy, up you go. Hup. So this will be a real short lesson today, maybe a mile. Come on, hup. Good boy. That's the first time he's had all the weight for himself. We've got a very small vehicle on, very lightweight vehicle. Come on. Of course I'm on here and John's on here. That's it, lovely. Walk on. So I'm not going to push him on any more than that. He's going forward. That's good enough. I'd like him to have trotted to the top, but not this first time, doesn't matter. Let him just feel the weight, get used to the vehicle on him. Come on, my baby. Yes, you are a good boy. The people say to me, would take him on a public highway when now this horse is ready. You saw what he was like with the traffic, took no notice of that big van coming past, the car, etc. He's not startled by it. So, all the before and I can't say to you, it takes me 6 weeks to train a horse to the standard you see on these films. Sometimes it very, very rarely might go over that a little bit if we've got a problem, such as, it can possibly be something to do with the horse's teeth. Any horse that you've got in training, you always run the risk of perhaps a little rub mark, with the harness. Obviously, the horse is like a child wearing a pair of shoes for the first time. Sometimes you take the little shoe off the child and you find they've got a blister, or like that. Well, obviously, we do the best we can for that not to happen, but it has happened, and anyone that says they've never done that, well, good luck to them, It's the amount of horses we have through the yard, you run the risk of that. So like we just had one little horse that laid over to one side. I knew it would come straight, but it laid to one side, so it rubbed itself against the, it wasn't sore or anything, but it took the hair off. Looked like it'd been clipped in that little patch, If he kept going, he would have been sore. But he come straight and he was fine. He wasn't square to the car. He was running off with his hips to one side. So this is it, like he's got to have a little look. So I'm not really going to be on his case too strong. Let him have a little look round. Also, he's holding this back on a hill. I've not got anything on the brakes, and he's doing that. So also he's learning another lesson, although he doesn't think he is, to hold all this weight back on his own. Also at this present time, we're only using the pad on his back to hold the weight, or if he took any more weight, the britching would come into play. Yeah. And the reason I'm doing that, we have the pad on his back, but then we have another great big pad underneath it. We have a great big pad underneath it to soften it. Now, why do I do that? Well, if a britching strap goes, yeah, come on, baby. If a britching strap was to go, come on, darling. Break, snap, undo. You know, when you rubbed it along a hedge, sometimes it's 1,000,000 to 1, but it can happen. And you've got nothing, it's all on their back. So just when we first start, we let them have all, you know, the weight on their back. Obviously, we don't go down a great steep hill to do that. Come on, baby, up you go. We just go nice and, you know, something on the little slopes like we have coming from home. Just to, you know, across the horizon over there. Up on top of it, where you can see the horizon, we go up there, and that's a real steep climb, you know, when they're fitter and stronger. So I'm going to turn around here now and just go home, because I'm happy with that. But what I'm going to do is just ask him, whoa, whoa, stand still. And then I'm just going to ask him, come back, baby boy, come back, my darling. Come back, my little baby. Yes, you are, you good boy. Now come round. Come round. Come on. That's it. Come round, my baby. Look at that crossover on the front. Can you see? Look. Cross his legs right over at the front. That's lovely. Come over, my baby. And to do that in single, come on. Boy, come up. Good boy. So that's as much as I want to do. So, like I say, short trip, big lesson. So he's had lots of little lessons in that, hasn't he? Holding that, going downhill, pulling it away for the first time, standing quiet while some motor cars go past in a van, yeah? Not trying to follow him because he thinks he should. You know, he thinks, oh well, normally when I'm in a pair, I'll stay behind these vehicles, I'll follow them, they go up the road, we're all going the same way, type thing. So this is lovely, and you see this hill here is not a steep hill. It's enough for him just to walk up nice and steady like that. If necessary, John could get off the cart, you know, if it was necessary to do so. He'd jump off and what's it? And Ree's broken her collarbone riding her bike, so come on, babe. Then obviously John's heavier, so you know. But if this pony was struggling or in any way distressed coming up here, now come on, up you go, babe. Good boy. Nice roll on his quarters there. Can you see? Come on. And he's coming up here just lovely. So he's got another lesson now. Oh, it's all down to me. I've got to pull this. Come on. Up, babe. There's a good boy. Yes, you are, my darling. You good boy. Just walk on. Come on, my baby. That's it. Come on then, my baby boy. That's lovely. So there's another little lesson. So his first trip, nice and short. He'll have plenty to think about when he goes back, you know, what he's done. He's not under any strain, but he is pulling, obviously. He's pulling the vehicle and he's having to work to do so. So that's lovely. But that little tiny short climb, you see, that's where we live where we live is so wonderful for training horses. You know, we have rivers to cross, obviously. We have a great estate that we can go round should we want to. You know, on the grass, basically, around the side of the crops, around the edge of the fields. We've got great, you know, very, very steep, extremely steep hills to go up and down. We've got every sort of road, like this very quiet road, and you could, within 1 mile, no, 2 miles, less than 2 miles, you're on a main road, and I can be in town in 4 3/4, the shortest way, onto the edge of Andover with all the traffic. The other way I can do it the short way again, I can do 6 miles in the middle of Stockbridge. So all in all, it's a he's having a chat, look. I'm coming back now. But a lovely, lovely little pony. He's going to make an absolute cracker, you know, 2 ways about that. And he's got a nice bit of action, actually. Not that I'm concerned about that at his age. There's nothing to worry about at the moment. But he picks his feet up and puts them down. Now, people say, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that, instead of just going like that, right, he actually picks them up and puts them down. Well, to pick them up and put them down, he's got to have some sort of knee action, you know, a little bit of height to his knee, and he's going to have that. He's never going to be acne, obviously, or a freesia maybe, as much as that, but he will move nice, no 2 ways about that. And a lovely, kind little pony, you know, he's got no bad, he's a bit soppy, you know, he'd nip you, but there's no malice in that whatsoever, you know, that's just playing as he would with another colt, you know, or another youngster he was running with. They just play together, and he's still at that stage, but it is leaving him. This is the right time to do the little baby. It's the right time to do him. For this horse, it's right. He's had his third birthday. He's, you know, it's just right for him now, and that's lovely. But a nice pony, and truly cold black, isn't he? I mean, definitely. Come up, babe. There's a good boy. So we've got one little rise to climb now, and we'll be back home. Come around here, baby. Whoa, stand. Now the reason I'd make him stand here at the gate, yeah, is because that's exactly what we need to do. Stand still. Because he's now home, he's thinking, right, I'm going to have something to eat now. I'm going to go in and see my mates, yeah, and like that. But no good, he's got to stand here, yeah. So stand nice and quiet. I'm just going to move him on a tiny bit because my back axle's still sitting on the road. So we're going to move him up. That's it. Come over. Come over. Whoop. Stand. And as you can see in his mouth, all he's got is a soft piece of rubber. And he just stand there like that, nice. And that's lovely. Also, the other thing is there's a lot of midges around his head, so you could say to me, oh, don't do that. The point is, we have to do all of these things. Of course, I've got spray that I could put on him and like that, but one day he's going to go out and he's going to be forgotten. So if he will stand quiet when he's got the magnet or the temptation to go inside, see his mates, have his food, yeah, stand still, and at the same time be tormented, yeah, by the midges, then you can't ask more than that of him, and we're not entitled to ask any more than that. So there's lots of midges around him, tormenting him around his ears, etc. Yet he's still standing, and he's got the pool of his mates in there. That's beautiful, that's lovely. I'm over the moon with him. So when I've said to you loads of times, a short trip but a real big lesson. There's so many things he's done there for me, you know. Single, remember, he's not being guided by any horse, you know, that he's been up alongside, and he's doing what I asked, and I'm really proud of him, you know. Nice little pony. He's going to make a real good pony. Walk, baby, walk. Good boy. I'll just finish off. I'll come down this little slope by the old dustbin. Whoa. Now we've got all the weight on him there. all the weight on him, and I'm going to ask him to come back. Darling, baby child, come back a couple of steps. Come back. And he's pushing that uphill now. Walk, baby, come on. Now, that I'm very, very pleased with. I knew he was ready. Don't ask me how I know, it's just I've done it so many times. You know, done so many horses, you know, literally a lot of horses. I think in this yard we've done 2,700 out of this yard. So there you have it. He's in it. What's it? So that last little thing we've done there is the cherry on the cake for me. We're coming down that tiny slope. The vehicle is coming down the slope. It's pushing him. There are no breeching straps on here. He's wearing long breeching from Pear's harness. So he stopped all that on there, and he's at home. He wants to go forward more than anything. He wants to go forward. I'm going to go in. I'm going to have some nice haylage. I'm going to have me, you know, my bit of short feed. I know what happens now when I come back from work. That's what I get. So all in all, that's lovely. And the midge is still tormenting him. So what we're going to do now is have the pressure washer out, the hot water washer. It'll all be washed off, scraped down, put to bed, and you know, the rest of the day's easy. He can just rest, think about what he's done, etc. But absolutely over the moon with that.